You're listening to KOUG Radio. Listen live online at KOUGradio.org.
Hello and welcome back to Real Original with Aaric Rodgers. I'm your host, Aaric Rodgers, and we are broadcasting live from the KOUG Radio room here on the Washington State University campus in Vancouver. I'm excited to be here today. We're back. Episode 3. So happy to be here. We got a lot to talk about today. Lots happened in the last week. Let me turn my headphones down. A lot has happened in the last week. A lot is happening this week. This is one of my favorite weeks of the year. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of you are going to be excited about this, and I'm being sarcastic here, but I'm excited. It is Masters Week. Augusta National, Augusta, Georgia. Man, I wish I could go to that tournament. It is the Masters. It is Masters Week. It is Tiger Week, baby. Tiger is back. Tiger made the cut last year. Will he do it again? Will he do better? Will he put on a 6th green jacket and tie Jack with 16 majors all time? We'll talk about that. March Madness is over. I didn't personally get the result I was looking for, but we had a great tournament. Man, a lot of upsets, a lot of fun. What a good time that was. I love the NCAA tournament. Not just on the men's side, but on the women's side as well. Did we have a great tournament? A lot of controversy there. We'll talk about that. Baseball season in what seems to be like full swing already. It's just like there's games on all day long. It's, I feel like we're in mid-season form. I'll tell you what, MVP race over. Yeah, I said it. The Major League Baseball MVP race is over. I'll tell you who's going to win it. We'll talk about that. Sounds like in a few people's opinions, the NBA MVP race is over as well. Somebody had a hot night last night. We'll talk about that. What should we talk about first? A lot of stuff going on. This is a great month. We got the NFL draft coming up later this month. Who's going number 1? Who's going to be the first quarterback off the board? Who's going to be the most important player taken? I don't know. A lot of questions. So I'm excited. This is a great month. Great day to be alive. Great week. Great year. I gotta say, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I woke up this morning feeling comfortable. Had a big test yesterday. Big math test. Feel like I did pretty good. I hope I got an A. No less than a B for sure, right? I think I was feeling pretty confident about it anyways. So it was like, had a pretty soft afternoon. Watched a good movie last night. I was going to say great. But then I know that there's all those critics out there. They'll be like, great? I don't know. I thought it was good. Apparently, it was based on a true story. I'm sure some details were maybe exaggerated a little bit, but well, I'll just tell you. It was called The Greatest Beer Run Ever, starring Zac Efron. And I won't spoil it, but it is about a mediocre sort of fellow in the 70s, Vietnam War time. And this kind of nobody guy decides that he's going to go over to Vietnam and bring his neighborhood buddies some beers from the neighborhood to just show some appreciation for what they're doing. And hey, whether the story is true or not, it was a good idea for a story. Apparently, it's a true story. They showed the actual photos taken from, so-called story. And it was funny. It was a little bit, it was a lot of it sad, actually. I'm not a big history buff or anything. I wasn't alive during the Vietnam War, but it was not the greatest time in history. I'll just say that. So, but this guy, played by Zac Efron, goes from New York to Vietnam with a duffel bag full of beers and just, finds a way to find his buddies and delivers them in wartime. So I thought it was a good movie. I won't go as far as to say great movie. Definitely not greatest movie ever, but I almost shed a tear. So when you can do that, I'd say it's pretty good. Yeah, so I had a good night, had a good day, had a good night. Woke up this morning pretty relaxed. I'm a semi early riser, wake up like 6:30. I'm chilling. My wife's getting ready for work. I send her off. I'm sitting on the couch thinking, oh, we're going to have a nice, comfortable morning. I don't have class until 10:30. We've only done 3 episodes. Well, this is the 3rd episode of this podcast. And so, listen, I'm going to cut it to you guys straight. I almost forgot to show up this morning. I drove to my local coffee shop, got a coffee. I'm cruising, hanging out. I see the clock says 8:20. I'm listening to the Dan Patrick Show in my car, cruising. And then it hit me. I got to be somewhere in 40 minutes. I'm not even dressed. I'm in my sweats, slippers, sipping on a nice iced coffee. It's a beautiful morning. I'm just like, hey, this is going to be a good day. And then it dawned on me, I got somewhere to be. I got to be right here, right now, talking to you guys. I almost didn't make it, but I did. I remembered. And thank God, because I got some stuff to talk about today. So let's do it. Let's start. I'm high energy now. You know that it's that type of high energy where you're just like panicked for a second, you know? You're like, whoa, I gotta go. I gotta be somewhere. And then it's just like heart starts beating kind of fast. I'm sure I'll crash here in a little bit, but I'm high energy right now. I'm locked in, ready to go, ready to talk. So let's do it. Let's talk about the Final Four. What a Final Four we had. Well, one game of the Final Four was incredible. Absolutely. And the type of game that you'll talk about for a while. The type of game that you wish you could have in the championship game, right? The San Diego State, Florida Atlantic game delivered. It gave us everything that we wanted. You had great shot making. You had some great defense. You had a point where you thought it was going to get a little out of hand, maybe get away from one of the teams. And then you had to come back. You had the fight. You had the resolve. San Diego State down. Second half comeback. Impressive stuff. Apparently, that's what they do, though. Apparently, because of their style of play and their defense, aggressive defense, they play dogfight basketball. In games that they have been down by 10 or more, they have come back 10 out of 11 times. They're 10-1, or they were, in games where they were down by 10 or more points. What? Now that's a stat, right? Incredible stat. But because they do something that you don't see in the NBA anymore. They play defense. They're in those dogfight games. They play a lot of 1, 2, 3 possession basketball games. And so what did we get? And I got to tell you, I did not watch the end of this game because, well, for one, I wanted San Diego State to win. And two, I knew that if I didn't watch, something epic would happen, right? Because that's how it goes for me. Like, the epic finishes happen when I'm not watching. I always seem to miss it. So anyways, I decided to go play golf in the second half. I was like, yeah, it's a nice day-ish. I got lucky. I didn't get rained on. I was, however, listening, had the AirPods in, had the game on, playing through my phone. So I'm playing. I get to about the third hole. It's coming down to the wire. San Diego State is making an aggressive comeback, and they do it. I'm on, well, I guess I was on the fourth tee box, actually, when Butler hits a game winner. 0 time left on the clock. Almost steps out of bounds. He dribbles down almost the length of the court. Time's running out. Jim Nance is like, dude, this guy's got to get it up. There's like a second left. He's still dribbling it around. Almost steps out of bounds. Puts the shot up. Created a little space. Gets a clean shot up. And drills it. Nothing but net. He might have hit a little back rim. I don't know. I can't remember. Teammates go crazy. They're running on the floor. He just booked a ticket for his team to go to the national championship game. And, what a finish, man. That's the type of stuff you dream of, right? The type of stuff where you're in your driveway, hopefully you got one of those hoops on the garage or something, or maybe you're at the park even. I don't know. But you dream of it. You practice it. If you played, any sort of basketball in your life, you've practiced that 1,000 times over. 3, 2, 1, shoot. And the dream came true. Dream came true. And dude hit a game-winning shot to take his team to the national championship game. What an incredible finish. What an incredible finish. Now, Florida Atlantic, kudos to them for sure. I don't think, well, like I said last week, like if you picked Florida Atlantic to be in your Final Four, you probably filled out about 15 brackets. I mean, be honest, right? So, kudos to Florida Atlantic. Dream run. Dream Final Four run. Slipper came off. Not that, San Diego State didn't have a slipper on themselves, but hey, it's got to end for, somebody. Unfortunately for Florida Atlantic, it ended for them that fateful night in the Final Four in Houston. Great run, though. Great run for them, and hey, maybe we'll see him again next year, I mean, I think they only had 3 or 4 losses on the season. And with that coach, if he sticks around, which I don't know, I'm sure you're going to have somebody in one of the Power 5 conferences looking for him, and maybe he'll make a, maybe he'll make a change, make more money, whatever. But hopefully he sticks around one more year. I'd love to see it. Love to see him get his team back into the tournament. Anyways, the other game, however, the other Final Four game, not so thrilling. You had UConn taking on Miami, and UConn was just absolutely dominant the whole tournament. Game got close there at the end, but Miami made a little run, but really I don't think UConn won by less than 15 points the whole tournament. They were just dominant. So I wish we, had more to talk about in that game. Not as exciting. Jim Larinaga, another Final Four run. Good for him. Taking another team that had never been to the Final Four to it. But UConn was just too good. And Monday night, we saw the same thing. Unfortunately, San Diego State, and they did this all tournament long, they have these 5, 6, 7, 8-minute spans of not scoring. And we saw that in the championship game. They had like a 10-minute span, another 5-minute span, another 8-minute, They had a lot of minutes where they didn't score any field goals. And give credit to UConn. I mean, we talked about San Diego State's defense. UConn's defense, unstoppable. I mean, they got these two big guys, Sonogo and Klingon, who's like, they say he's like 7'2". The guy looks like he's 9 feet tall. He played like he was 9 feet tall. You couldn't get a shot over the guy. I mean, literally. And then you see UConn never had a run of scoreless basketball. They'll miss a couple shots here and there. They're not going 5 minutes without scoring, So it was the same story for UConn as it had been the 5 previous games. They dominated. They dominated on the glass. They made shots. They played defense. They played great defense. And yeah, they ended up with a, 15, 16 point victory. So fifth national championship since 1999, which, puts them ahead of, or I think they're up there. They're up there with the Dukes and the Kansases. I think the only 2 schools now that have more national championships are UCLA and North Carolina. So I think we can officially call them a blue blood, even though, it's like when they don't make the tournament, some years they don't. Like Duke makes a tournament every year, right? Now, North Carolina didn't make the tournament this year, but they're a blue blood. I consider UConn now a blue blood. I do. I think other people would too. Got a great coach. Got great players. Adama Sanogu, most outstanding player of the tournament, which he absolutely deserved. The guy was a beast. Dominated the boards, played defense, made shots, made some free throws, which, it's impressive when big guys like that can shoot 76, 77, almost 80%. So, congratulations to UConn. They earned it. And it was not the finish that we all were looking for. We were looking for something a little more exciting. We didn't get it. But nonetheless, it was a great tournament overall. We're happy with it. You know what else was a great tournament overall? Was the women's tournament. And in that one, we had a little controversy. Now, I don't personally think it's controversy. I personally loved it. Now, we didn't get the thrilling, finish. We didn't get a last second bucket in the championship game. But we got some trash talk. We got some chirping going on. We had about 12 million viewers watching the women's tournament. Most ever. Setting viewership records. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, women's game. And it was fun. It was fun to watch. I was watching. I wanted to see what was going on. And you had two of the best players in women's basketball going up against each other in the national championship game. And yeah, we got some trash talking. We got some chirping going on. Previously, so I'll kind of set it up here. You had Iowa versus LSU. You had Caitlin Clark for Iowa, the most outstanding player of the tournament, the women's player of the year. A transformational type player. Somebody who, they're calling her the Steph Curry of women's basketball. And maybe rightly so. They call her that because, the type of shots she's taking are unlike shots that you see anywhere in the women's game. She's pulling up from 30 plus feet. She's drilling shots. She's got excellent pass making ability. She's a transformational type player. And we love to see it. And she's talking. She's hyped up. She's in the moment. She's doing the John Cena, you can't see me. She in that semifinal, she almost pulled the Brandy Chastain and ripped her jersey off. Almost. She wanted to do it. She held back in that moment, but she wanted to do it. And she was walking by competitors, flashing her hand in your face, doing the John Cena, you can't see me. And people loved it. People loved it. Nobody said anything about it until you get to the national championship game. And at the end of that game, you get Angel Reese, the star for the LSU team, looking her down. I was going to say looking her right in the eye, but Caitlin Clark wasn't really looking back. But she was staring at her. Angel Reese was staring at her. And she was doing the John Cena, you can't see me. And she was pointing at her ring finger like, yeah, we just won the championship. Now, give Caitlin credit. She didn't look back. She didn't respond. And at the end of the game, Angel admitted that, as the kids say, she was in her bag. She was all in her bag. I don't know what that means, but she was in her bag and she was showboating a little bit. But dude, who cares? Guys are doing that all the time. And that's what I love. I love that that's where we are now, because women have how do I say it? They're being a little bit more bold on the court. Where, yeah, they are trash talking. And they don't care. Because they're competitors. And that's what you do. Whether you're on an official court playing an official game, or whether you're at the park, or wherever you are in a driveway with your neighbors, you're talking smack. Admit it. Admit it. You drain a 3, you're putting up 3 fingers. You're blocking shots. You're waving your finger like Mutombo, saying no, no, no. And now, because the ladies are doing it, all of a sudden there's this uproar. Oh, it's too much. It's too much. Get out of here. Get out of here with that. I don't want to hear that ever. They have just as much a right to do it as anybody else, and we can shut our mouths and enjoy it. And you know what? Caitlin Clark spoke yesterday or 2 days ago and said, look, Angel Reese deserved to do that. She deserved to talk trash because she did win. She did win the ship. Caitlin's like, I've been talking trash all year. So if somebody's going to do it and do it to me, it's because they're beating me. And that's what Angel Reese did. She beat me. And so she gets to talk the trash. And she said, nobody should be criticizing Angel Reese over it. And I agree with her. And credit to Caitlin Clark for being classy and saying, yeah, that's the way it is. That's what we do. This is who we are. We're competitors. We got fire. I love it. Meanwhile, nobody's talking about how LSU put up like 102 points, shattering the all-time record for points scored in a national championship game. 102 points. These girls are playing like, 36 minutes or 40 minutes. It's like, you don't see that. You don't see that in the women's game. You don't see 102 points. I mean, that's incredible. Why aren't we talking about that? I'm here for it. I want to see it again. I hope that next year, because these girls will be back, I hope that next year, early on, that we get to see a little rematch. Somebody put Iowa and LSU on a court together again, please. Because I hope we see it early in the year, now that it's a rivalry, right? I hope we get a little more trash talk. And then I hope we see it again at the end of next year in the tournament again. I hope they play each other. I want to give me as much Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark as I can get. Because I'm here for it. I'm a fan and I'm watching. Credit to Angel Reese. Credit to LSU for winning the Natty. Credit to Caitlin Clark for being classy and saying good for her. She deserved it. She earned it. Credit to women's basketball. Because I think it's going somewhere. Like, there's room to grow, and I think it's just going to keep growing. All right. Let's move on. My favorite. I said it earlier. It's a week I've been waiting for all year. It's Masters Week. It's Masters Week. It starts tomorrow. Technically, it starts today. Well, not technically, but you got the par 3 contest today, which is always fun, right? You'll get somebody that, gets a hole in one, or you'll have somebody's kid that's caddying for them, get a hole in. They'll get a guest shot, and they'll get something cool. You'll get the little kids on the final green that get to, put one in. Or somebody's wife or something, it's like, it's for fun. It's for the families. It's entertaining. It's on right now. I wish I could watch it, but priorities, I got you guys. And trust me, I want to be here. I'll watch, there will be highlights. I'll watch it. But guess who's back? Back again. Tiger's back. And look, if you're sitting here, or you're sitting wherever you are, or you're doing whatever you're doing, and you think that there's no chance Tiger will win. He's too old, too many injuries. Think again. You probably thought that in 2019, am I right? When I had tears running down my face as Tiger is standing on the 18th green, up by whatever it was, 2 or 3 strokes. And he made that final putt. I got a picture of it. I got a little, one of those commemorative pictures where Tiger's got his hands in the air with a Tiger roar because he just won his 5th green jacket in 2019 as a 47-year-old, whatever. Nobody thought he was going to win then. And I bet, the one tournament he played in this year, the Genesis, I'm sure nobody thought he would even make the cut. He made the cut. And yeah, Augusta is a tough walk. It's a tough walk, especially for a man in his mid to late 40s who's had multiple back surgeries, who has multiple screws in his leg, almost lost his leg. It's a tough walk, absolutely. But you know what? The weather in Augusta, Thursday, Friday, it's going to be nice and warm. Yeah. Perfect conditions for the old man. And you know what? If he's in contention, if he makes the cut on Friday and he's in contention going into Saturday, anything can happen. Anything can happen. He's the greatest golfer of all time. I don't care what you say. Jack Nicklaus has got more major championships. Fine. Okay. Tiger's got more wins than anybody ever. He's one major behind Jack. In an age where, these golfers are better than ever. They're in better shape than ever. They take care of their bodies more. They practice more. These kids have been playing golf from the time that they could even pick up a club. The competition now is stiffer. And you can credit that to Tiger. Tiger was one of the first golfers ever to really be an athlete, a specimen, somebody who was in the weight room, somebody who was on the range from dusk till dawn. The competition now is all accredited to Tiger and the type of player and athlete that he was and is. If you think Tiger's not putting his body to the test day in and day out these days, you're wrong. So I think he tees off at, like 7 o'clock in the morning, East Coast time. It's like 7:15 or 7:18. 7:18. Which means I'll be up at 4:18. It's like Christmas morning, Tiger at the Masters is like Christmas morning for me. Can't wait. I'll be thinking about it when I go to bed. I'll have to set my alarm if I'm just being honest, because I'm not waking up at 4:18 on my own. But I'm setting my alarm. And I'm watching from the first tee shot to the last putt. I'm watching. And I can't wait. But Tiger's not the only storyline going into Augusta. You got the defending champion, Scotty Scheffler, who's in really good form. Can Scotty go back-to-back? We haven't seen a back-to-back champion in a long time. I couldn't even tell you the last back-to-back champion was. It was probably Tiger, but I'd have to look that up. I don't know. It's been a long time, but man, Scotty is in good form right now. Had a great showing a couple of weeks ago at the WGC match play. So can he take it home? Can he win back-to-back? Will John Rahm win his first Masters? He's in great form, or he was earlier in the season. Won like 3 tournaments already this year. He always has a good, West Coast run, though. He loves playing on the West Coast. So we'll see. We'll see if he can take his talents to Augusta and perform there. What a lot of people want to know, can Rory McIlroy exercise his demons at Augusta? Or will he be out of it early? Will he do something like, barely make the cut, be down by 8 or 9 strokes heading into Sunday? You guys remember last year when, I think Roy was down by a lot and then shot a 64 on Sunday. He said he thought he could win, but let's be honest, he was out of it. Ends up shooting a 64, has an incredible birdie on the 18th hole from the bunker, throws his club, throws his arms in all different directions. And he hit a backdoor top 5, where he didn't have a chance and then has a great day and, sneaks into the top 5. But he's got to win one, right? Remember 7 or 8 years ago, he was in the lead and then he shot like a 40 on the back 9, just absolutely crumbled. And overall, just has never really been that close. So and he's playing good golf right now. I think he's number 2 in the world. So I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't care if Rory won. If he won, I'd be so happy for him. I really would. I want to see Rory put on a green jacket. He's been around long enough now, although I think he's still young. I think he's my age, might be a year or 2 older or a year or 2 younger. I don't know. Let's look it up. How old is Rory McIlroy? Um, 36. No, that's how many wins he has. 80, no, 89. Yeah, he's still younger than me. Still, he'll always be younger than me. He's 33. He's got more gray hairs than I do, but hey, if I still feel good, he's got to feel good. I don't think Rory's had any major injuries. He just needs to win. He hasn't won a major championship in like 9 years. Something like that. It's like, come on, dude. You're like number 2 in the world. You should be winning. Oh, he had a backdoor 2nd place last year. That's right. He's won every other major. He needs the Masters for his Grand Slam. I think he can do it. I hope he can do it. It'd be a lot of fun to see him do it. I still want Tiger to win. Or I'd like to see some real controversy. I want to see a live golfer do it. I want to see a Live Tour player win the Masters. Because this thing has gotten out of hand. PGA versus Live. Who's right? Who's wrong? Who cares? A lot of people do. Brooks Koepka, my wife's favorite golfer, because he's so jacked and he has perfect teeth. The guy is pretty good looking. I'm not going to lie. I'll give him that. But he can't get his hair in like check, right? I mean, he had the stupid haircut one time that I think his wife gave him. And then he had the blonde hair there, like the bleach blonde hair there for a little bit. It's like, dude, just get a standard cut, just get a standard fade. Go to a nice barber. It's not like I know you can afford it. And he's had to exercise some demons. He's had to exercise some the injury bug a little bit. But he just won on the Live Tour. His second Live Tour victory. It is funny. They're all, Brooks Koepka makes history by becoming the first golfer to win 2 Live tournaments. You've only had like 8 of them, Anyways, I would like to see Brooksy put on a green jacket just for the controversy. Or Cam Smith. Cam Smith's a hell of a golfer, I know he can do it. Cam might legitimately be the best player in the world right now. Because that guy, his approach, when he's on the fairway with a shot to get to the green, he's better than anybody. He's better than anybody. And then you got past champions like Bubba Watson, who, he could pull something out of his what. Patrick Reed, I'm sure, could cheat his way to a victory and win a second green jacket. Phil, I don't know. He's probably done. I hate to say that because I love Lefty, but he just hasn't been very good as of late. Dustin Johnson, though. Hey, that guy can win. He can win anywhere, anytime, any golf course. I don't think there's a golf course in the world that guy doesn't like, that doesn't fit his eye. Who else? Who else is on that? I don't know. I think Sergio's going to be there. Nah, probably not. I don't see Sergio making a big run. Charles Schwartzel, maybe, right? Probably not. But anyways, the point is, you got all these live golfer guys that are how contentious is this tournament gonna be? And they say, oh no, we're just guys, we're just out here, we're all golfers, we're all out here chasing the same thing, there's no contention. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I know that the PGA players want to win for the PGA players and the live players want to live for the live players. And I think the live players want to win a little bit more just to say, hey, we're not the second tier golf league in this world. We got great players on this tour. And they do. And I think they've been slighted a little bit because of the controversy. I want to see like one of those finishes where kind of like on the women's tour, you know, when somebody wins their first major and a bunch of her peers and colleagues all run up and pour champagne on her and stuff, you know. I want to see that type of thing with the live golfers. I want to see a live golfer win, and then I want to see like 10 live golfers go out onto the green and just start spraying champagne. That would be fun. That would be fun to watch. That's entertainment. I can't wait. Like I said, tomorrow morning is like Christmas morning for me. I'll be up at 4:18 watching Tiger tee off. And I'll have it on my phone. I'm going to go to class. I'm going to have it. Don't tell anybody. I'll probably have it on my phone in class, if I'm just being honest. I'll try to be respectful and hide it as much as possible, but you know, it's Masters. This is the one week of the year where I'm like, hey, I tell my wife, hey, no, whatever you thought you had planned for us this weekend, it's not happening. Although, as fate would have it, Masters Sunday falls on Easter Sunday this year. How convenient is that? I gotta work. This Sunday. Not thrilled, tell you that much. You know, I'll put on a face. I'll pretend to have a good attitude, fake it till you make it. Luckily, where I work, we have, you know, there's like 365 or big, maybe they're 80 even. I think 80-inch TVs within eyesight that will all be on the same thing. They'll all be on Masters, CBS, Jim Nance. Hello, friends. By the way, thank you, Jim Nance, for hosting the men's Final Four, his last men's Final Four. We appreciate you. I know you'll keep doing golf. I know you'll keep doing NFL, but, you know, he put in a good run at the NCAA tournament himself. Anyways, yeah, that's what I have to look forward to. Unfortunately, we didn't get to baseball today. I'll get to it next week because it'll be the same story. I guarantee you I will have the same MVP candidate next week that I have this week. It's not going to change. I'm sure you can guess who it is because it's over. It's already over. We didn't get to the draft, which we still got a few more weeks to talk about that. So we'll talk about the draft next week. And we'll talk about the Masters. We'll talk about who won and how good of a tournament it was. And how great my viewing experience was. Because Thursday, Friday, Saturday, going to be pretty good. Saturday's going to be great. I don't got nothing going on Saturday. I get to chill and watch it. Hopefully Tiger makes the cut. But for now, I'm going to sign off. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you. I'm grateful. You guys have a great rest of your week. Take care.